And we are live. Hello, everyone. This hour on Verbling, the next in my Hot Topics series. In today's Hot Topic, we're going to talk about an innovation that you may or may not have heard of, but an interesting one nonetheless. We're going to be doing a bit of reading. Hello, mirror. Goodbye, air conditioner. An innovative solution that might have a huge impact on emissions and global warming. Researchers have created a mirror that not only reflects 97% of light, but also beams the excess heat directly into the cold depths of the universe. Why aren't all of us using it already? Well, find out today. I had a little technical problem, so I'm starting a little bit late. I apologize for that. Let me just get my name on the board, and we will get started. Okay, well, while I'm waiting for that, I'm going to share my screen with you. Let me see if I can get this working. I think, despite the fact that I have a new computer, I think I need more RAM or something, because some days things are not working the way they should, like today. Okay, there we go. So, I'm John Eric, your Verbling teacher for this hour. I'm an American teacher from New York, coming at you today from Lisbon, Portugal, to bring you this class. By the way, if you click on the link in the Verbling chat window, you can go to my profile page, where you can see all my upcoming group classes, and of course, you can schedule a private tutoring class with me, or purchase a package. Just send me a message if you're interested, so that I can find time for you in my schedule. Take a look at the material, everyone. You can see it here, and you can also open it here in the Verbling chat window. Okay, so sorry about the delay. Let me say hello to everyone. Hello, Mr. Khalid. How are you today?
I'm fine, thank you, teacher. How are you?
Better now. Some difficulty before, but now I'm okay. And what about you, Jose? How are you today?
Hello, John. I'm doing very well. Thanks for asking.
Okay, very good, very good. So, before we read this, I just have a question. Do you have an air conditioner at home or at work? Do you use an air conditioner regularly? I think, Jose?
Yes, here in Valencia, I use an air conditioner at work and at home.
At work and at home? Really?
Yes, yes. Because the weather is so hot now.
Mm-hmm. Very hot now.
It's very hot now. The temperature is high.
Mm-hmm. Well, I understand at work, but at home as well, because here in Portugal, I don't know, it's not that common to have an air conditioner at home, and it's hot. No, not really. At least, I mean, do you have one that fits in the window, or what is it?
What kind of air conditioner I have?
Yeah. Does it fit inside the window, or is it?
No, I have three air conditioner in the kitchen, in the bedroom, and two air conditioners in one bedroom and in the another bedroom. 3 air conditioners I have in my home.
That seems a lot. When you say air conditioner, do you mean air conditioner or do you mean fan?
No, air conditioner.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Really.
Wow. You must have huge electricity bills.
No. Yes. In summer, the bill of electricity is very high.
Yeah. I can imagine. And what about you, Khalid? Do you have air conditioning at home and at work? I guess it's necessary there, right?
Yes, it's very necessary to get air conditioners everywhere here in KSA. Even in winter, there is maybe, what about 1 month or 20 days that you don't use air conditioner there, here in KSA? In my home here, I have 5 air conditioners, uh,
Wow.
and Svelte. I don't know what we call it. Svelte.
Svelte? What is that?
Svelte air conditioner. I don't know what you call it here.
Well,
There in America.
what's it like?
Uh, it is wide, and
Mhm.
it is not bothering you like air conditioner that you put in the window, you know.
Because
Uh, but
isn't you?
excuse me,
Are you saying svelte? SVELT? Like that? Svelte?
spelt. We call the electrician here that will specialized in air conditioners say that spelt. I don't know what your call it in your country. I
Well,
don't.
I'm
But
asking
you
you.
see, but I mean,
If the word is svelte, like spelled like this. Look at the chat window. That
no,
svelte?
no.
Ah, okay.
No, but they call it here
hmm
like this. It's no.
Ah, okay. So that's not English.
I don't. Teacher here. I mean that there are two kinds of air conditioner that use it here,
hmm
uh, and there is necessary, very necessary in such this weather.
hmm
And what the hot weather, but is it? It's it's limits your movement, you
hmm
know.
Yeah. So how hot does it get in the summer?
Oh, very high the temperature here.
hmm
You
What
cannot.
is the temperature in Portugal now, John?
That's a good question. I wonder. Maybe I can tell you. Let me see. I don't know if I can tell you quickly. It's pretty hot. I mean, I like it, but it's pretty hot.
Yeah.
Let me see what it is right now. Give me a second. I'm opening my temperature app. It'll take a second to load. What is it in Valencia right now?
41, 42 degrees.
42 degrees?
About, yes.
And what is it in KSA right now? Khalid,
Teacher,
how many degrees is it right now where
teacher,
you are?
excuse me. He
hmm
said 41 is hot there.
In Spain, 41. Yes,
Yes. It's
41
hot.
he consider it is hot.
Yes.
that's hot.
That is not hot. It is good weather. Comparing with KSA, maybe now it's maybe 50 or 51, 55. I don't think there are not. There is no one say the exact number here, you know, because it's
hmm
infecting people, you know.
Right.
Therefore,
You don't say the exact number. It's too scary, huh?
no, not scary, not scary. You use it to that.
hmm
Uh, Day by day, you get used to feel or to deal with such high temperature. No problem at all. I prefer hot weather on the cold. I fear cold.
hmm Actually, I do too, to be honest with you. Cold really bothers me.
Me
Yes,
too.
you
Me too.
you you will not die by hot, but you will die by cold.
Well, keeping that in mind, we can see that air conditioning is necessary.
Yeah.
So there's no doubt about that. Um, Besides at home and at work, I mean, where else would we expect? Where else would you expect air conditioning to be a normal thing? Besides at home and at work, where else would you expect to find it? Class.
Excuse me, repeat again, teacher.
Besides at home and at work, where else would you expect air conditioning to be a normal thing. Where else would you encounter it?
At the restaurants, at the cinema, in a lot of places.
Every place that you go, you have to like banks, like hospital, like
Yes.
clinics, like restaurant, shops, even barber shop. Everywhere you go, you
Yeah.
have to because it's very hot.
In Valencia too, you can find air conditioner everywhere.
I'm really surprised because here, if you go to the bank, they might not have air conditioning. I mean, it depends. Maybe nowadays they would, but it wasn't that common before. And it's hot here. I mean, for us, hot. So, 40 degrees is pretty normal this time of year, I guess.
It's hot.
Right? So for us, that's hot. Above 42 degrees, everyone starts, getting crazy. So that's like an emergency for us. But yeah, it's not going to go below 30 degrees here. And in August, it can be hot. But when I first came here, banks didn't have air conditioning. Offices, big office buildings probably would. Shopping centers, I noticed that a lot of places turn off the air conditioning in the summer because it's too expensive. They just turn it off, which is crazy because it's really uncomfortable because it's too many people in a space. Let me just say a quick hello to Raphael, who's joining us right now. Hello, Raphael. How are you?
I'm pretty fine. Thanks for asking.
Are you in air conditioning? Are you feeling cool and relaxed?
There is a controversial issue because my wife always like to enjoy air conditioning, but I hate air conditioning, but I need it also. And it's a kind of arguing issue every day. And continue on the line, I think the next step in the air conditioning.
Next step? I lost you. Uh-oh.
Heard in Abu Dhabi or in countries like that you could find in a little street air conditioning on the street for the peasant.
So that's basically what we've been talking about, We can talk about here whether it's necessary or not, but in other places you need it. You really need it.
In States, is it the same, John? You can find air conditioner everywhere?
Absolutely everywhere. Every house, every apartment, everyone. They couldn't live without it. And it's usually the kind that fit in your window and are very, very, inefficient. So it's everywhere. And as you're going to see, it's really quite an impact on the electricity bill. It's really quite, it's quite expensive to run all those air conditioning units. Before we read and find out what's going on, let's take a quick look at some vocabulary to get used to it before you read. So over here, I'm going to ask you to match definitions and then find the words and read them in context if you like, but the main thing is just to see if you're familiar with all of these expressions, okay? So, first of all, let's go around the room. Well, there's only 3 of you today. Let's go around the 3 of you and just say these words. If you know what they mean, maybe give an example. If you see the definition, feel free to match it up. My first concern is just to hear you say it. So, Jose, first word on the left. Can you say it for me? Jose, are you there? What happened to Jose? I don't hear Jose. Mr. Khalid, first word on the top left, please.
Boiler.
Boilers.
Boiler, yes.
Less syllables. 2 syllables. Boilers.
Boilers.
Great. Do you know what that is?
Yes, I know.
What is it?
It is a water tank with electricity that maybe that electricity power here make it hot, make the water hot to use it in the in the winter.
Exactly. It's what you use to make the water hot. Exactly. Boilers usually are in the basement of a building, although here in Portugal, everyone has their own boiler. It's called the esquentador, which is called it translates as heater, and you have one. You have to buy your own when you have an apartment. They don't come with places like that. So here they're individual. In America, they're in the basement, and all the hot water gets heated and then pumped up through the building. Okay. And Mr. Raphael, the second word on the left at the bottom.
Premises.
Premises. What are the premises of a place? What do you mean by premises?
Related to number 2, the buildings and land that a business or organization use.
That's it.
That's called premises.
Premises. So the space, all of the space, inside and outside, everything that is part of that space. So if you go to the shopping mall, the premises are the building. The premises are maybe the entrance, maybe the lawn outside, all the shops inside. Okay, the whole space is the premises. It's a legal definition, by the way. Mr. Jose, are you back?
Yes.
Oh, okay. We thought that you had a heat stroke because you had turned off your air conditioner.
Yes.
The third word or expression there in the middle, top middle.
Yes. Immediate surroundings.
Immediate.
Immediate surroundings.
Surroundings. That's it.
I think all kind of things that there are around the building.
Yeah, anything around the building. The things that are right outside the door. Your immediate surroundings. Not the landscape. Okay, very good. The next word you all know. Significant. Significant. I think you all know that word. Something that is important is significant. A significant change is an important change. What's the opposite of significant, Khalid? What's the opposite?
Significant.
Opposite. Yeah.
Insignificant.
Almost. Insignificant.
Insignificant.
Insignificant, right. And I'll put that insignificant in the chat window for you to take a look at and put in your notes. Okay, Mr. Raphael, the first word on the top right, please.
Offset.
Offset. This is a financial term. Well, it can be financial, or it could have, but it's usually numerical. Something having to do with an amount or a volume of something. Do you know what it means? Do you see the definition?
No, I have no idea.
If we offset a loss in a company, Raphael, if we offset a loss, it means that we have contingency funding available. So perhaps Project A is very profitable, and it will offset the loss of Project B, which is not profitable. Does that make sense?
Yeah, to balance. Number 3, to balance the effect of something so that there is not advantage or disadvantage. Could be.
That's it. So if you're into business, you know about the vertical integration model. Vertical integration tries to offset losses in one part of the company and be profitable in another, and together there's a balance. Okay? Offset. And Mr. Jose, the last word on the top.
Slash.
Slash. If I slash prices, what am I doing?
Reduce.
Reduce.
Something
Slash.
by a large amount.
That's it. Drastically reduce. So it's definition 1. Okay? And I think there's another set here, but these are a little bit easier. The first word is atmosphere. Notice I don't say atmosphere. When you speak quickly, the M sounds more like an N. So M like mother changes to N like nurse. Atmosphere. Or you just drop it completely. Atmosphere. Atmosphere. I don't even say it. To be honest, when I say it quickly, I just drop the M completely. Because it's difficult to say atmosphere. It's hard to maneuver your mouth. So this is a phonetic rule in English that you sometimes drop a letter or change it to an easier to pronounce letter. Atmosphere. So I'd say it like that. I think you all know what the atmosphere is. Layers, consumption, potential, visible, radiate. I think these are easy words. Are there any words on this page that you don't know or you're not sure about? Any questions about this vocabulary before we go on?
No.
No? We're all cool?
Yes, teacher.
Say again?
Consumption.
Ah, consumption.
Consumption, yes.
Consumption. If you buy something, we can call you a consumer, right, Khalid?
Yes.
Okay. The act of consuming is consumption. The act of consuming. So, the consumption of energy is very high when you run an air conditioner. The consumption of energy is supposed to be lower with this new innovation, the mirror air conditioner, which you'll see what that is in a minute. So it's the act of consuming. By the way, anytime a word has T-I-O-N, it is always a noun. That means a person, a place, a thing, or an idea. So it's always a noun. So here it is the noun or name of the act of consuming something. So we can talk about the consumption of energy. We can talk about the consumption of, well, pretty much anything. I don't know. By the way, Khalid, which definition down there do you think would be the best match for consumption?
To be powerful to use the air around the ear with the sheets of the substance that cover surfaces. Yeah. To produce generation. I think it's number 10.
Number 10, to produce. Well, I don't think so, because it's not about producing, it's about...
No. Sorry. Let me incorrect. Use something such as fuel or energy and multiple people use.
Yeah, that's it.
11.
Yes, it's number 11.
That's it. It's the use, not the production, but the use.
Yeah.
That's it. Okay, so let's go ahead and find out all about this amazing innovation. As you excuse me, as you read this, I want you to keep in mind or think to yourself, how innovative is this solution? Is this something that could have been done years ago? Or is this something that we could only really have done now with our current technology? Think about that question. I think that's the question this article raises for me. Okay? Raphael, why don't you start us off with the title and the first 2 paragraphs, please? They're very short.
Yeah. The warning. Mirrors could replace air conditioning by beaming heat into space. I am Sample Science Editor, 26 November 2014. 2014, yeah.
2014, yep.
A mirror that sends heat into cold space has been designed by scientists to replace air conditioning units that keep buildings cool on Earth. Researchers believe the mirror could slash the amount of energy used to control air temperatures in business premises and shopping centers because they won't need to use cooling systems.
Where are you? Is that the whole thing? Yep, it is. Okay. You got there faster than I thought you would. Give me a second here. I want to just take a look at the IPA for this word. Give me just a second. Eventually, I'll figure out how to do this quickly. Take another look at that pronunciation in the chat window, Raphael.
Pronunciation. Air conditioner.
Air.
Air conditioner.
So look at the symbol. Sorry, it's split on the line, but that backwards 3 that symbol, the backwards 3, is e. So it's air, not ire, because you're trying to pronounce both vowels. In fact, it's a diphthong. The vowels go together, and when we speak quickly, air. Okay, very good. So, the people who came up with this idea, do they believe it could reduce energy by a lot or by a little? Raphael.
By a lot or by a little?
Yeah, which?
By a lot.
By. Not by a lot? Can it reduce energy?
By a lot. I didn't get it.
Okay.
By a lot.
And what word tells you that it can reduce it by a lot? There's a keyword that tells you it's a lot.
Slash.
Exactly. It's going to slash the amount of energy. The word slash actually means to cut through something. If you have a machete, you can slash through the plants when you're in the jungle. Slash through it. So it's a way to say cut drastically, cut sharply. Okay, very good so far. So, Mr. Jose, keep going for the next two, please.
Okay. Around 50% of the energy used by buildings in the USA goes on air conditioning, but the researchers say that in some cases the mirror could completely offset the need for extra cooling.
Keep going.
In a rooftop comparison in Stanford, California, scientists found that a roof that had been painted black reached 60 degrees more than the air temperature in sunlight, and aluminum reached 40 degrees more. However, the mirror was up to 5 degrees cooler than the surrounding air temperature.
Excellent. Take another look at the chat window.
Okay. Comparison.
Perfect. Exactly. So that upside down E is the sound. The first syllable is come. Comparison, right? Comparison. Very good. Okay. So, just to put that in your own words, what happens when you use a mirror, Jose? In your own words, what's the difference between painting it black, painting it white, and putting a mirror there? What's the drastic change that occurs?
The drastic change when you paint a wall of white, the heat is reflected.
And when you put a mirror,
yes, when you put a mirror, the heat is reflected too, no?
It's reflected too, but look at the difference.
Yes.
If you paint it white, it reflects it a bit, yes. Right? It's still 40 degrees Celsius hotter than the air. Put a mirror there, and it's 5 degrees cooler. It doesn't just reflect it. It's a huge difference, right? So the idea that you can paint your house white and make it improve your energy bills, which is something that they talk about in Europe, okay, it looks like it'll work, but it's not that significant.
No.
But look, right, the walls are actually cooler than the rest of the environment when you use the
mirror was up to 5 degrees cooler than the surrounding air temperature. Okay.
Mm-hmm. That's it. Very good. Whoops. Okay. Do I have another question for you? No, I think that's it. Okay. Khalid, why don't you take 5 and 6 for us, please?
Yes. If you cover significant part of the roof with this mirror, you can see how much power it can save. You can significantly offset the electricity used for air conditioning, said Shanho Fan, an expert in the study of light at Stanford University, who led the development of the mirror. In some situations, you will be able to completely offset the air conditioning. Building warm up in number of different way in, in a number of different way. Hot water boiler and cooking areas release heat into their immediate surrounding. In hot countries, warm air comes in through doors and windows. Then there is visible light and infrared infrared
Infrared, that's right.
infrared radiation from the sun, which also heat up buildings.
hmm Sorry, are you at the end? Because I can't see the end of the text. Yep, that's it. Okay, good. So I'm going to put two words there. Take a look in the chat window.
Yes,
There's the first one.
significantly.
Look at this. Look where the stress is. One more time.
Significantly.
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 No, you're putting it on the can't. It's not on the can't. That little, I don't know if you can see it. There's a little mark before the and, high up. There's a little apostrophe. That shows you that the stress is on It's on the nif. Significantly.
Significantly.
Good. But you got to drop the can't. The can't is almost
Can't.
quiet.
Significantly.
No, Khalid. It's not on the can't. Stop saying the can't. Say nif. Nif.
Nif.
Good.
Nif.
Significantly. Significantly.
Significantly.
Okay. It's better. You're still putting way too much stress on the can't. The can't is almost almost silent. Almost.
I'm not good in phonetics.
If you feel like you're having trouble with that, by the way, if you don't know the symbols, don't worry. It just takes a little bit of time, and you can get it. But the best thing you can do is just work with the recording, listen, and repeat difficult words, right? You can even go and download the video here in YouTube, download the video to this class, convert it to an MP3, and listen and repeat. If I correct you, there's different ways you could do it. You can go to this website, forvo.com, if you know this website, and you can download MP3s of individual words from British and American speakers. So you've got different ways to practice it with words that I correct you on. Forvo.com is a great website because it's user-generated. So there's no computer voices there. So that's another suggestion for you to think about. Okay, and there's one more before we move on. Take a quick look at this one in the chat window. Sorry that the symbols keep getting cut to the next line. I apologize about that. Can you see that word again? Khalid?
Teacher?
Can you say the word in the chat window, the one I just wrote?
Infrared.
Good.
Infrared.
And the mark is on the red.
Yes.
That means the stress is on the last syllable.
Yes.
So?
Infrared. Infrared.
Infrared. Infrared.
Infrared.
Yeah, that's actually much better. Yeah. We almost don't hear the first two syllables. We hear the red more strongly than the others. Okay? Very good, very good. So, let's finish up the article and talk about it. We are back to you, Raphael, for 7 and 8. See where we are?
The Stanford mirror was designed to reflect 97% of the visible light that falls on it. But more importantly, It works as a thermal radiator. When the mirror is warmed up, it releases
It releases
heat at a specific wavelength of infrared light that passes easily through the atmosphere and out into space.
Hold on a second. I misunderstood you, Raphael. I'm sorry. When the silicon dioxide heats up, it radiates. Sorry, radiates. Radiates as heat. Radiates as heat. Sorry, I didn't follow you in the text, so I misunderstood. So try that again. It radiates.
I can find it.
Middle of 9.
Middle of 9? Oh.
No, I'm sorry. Wait. What paragraph were you reading? 7?
I was reading 7.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
But I don't know if I.
No. You're right. My fault. Sorry. You're right.
I repeat. The Stanford mirror was designed to reflect 97% of the visible light that falls on it. But more importantly, it works as a thermal radiator. When the mirror is warming up, it releases.
It's warmed up.
It's warmed up. It releases heat at a specific wavelength of infrared light that passes easily through the atmosphere and out into space.
Okay, keep going. There's a short.
To make anything cold, you need what engineers call a heat sink, somewhere to put unwanted heat. The heat sink has to be cooler than the object that needs cooling, or it will not do its job. For example, a bucket of ice will cool a bottle of wine because it becomes a sink for heating the liquid. The Stanford mirror relies on the best heat sink, the universe itself. Interesting.
That is interesting, actually. Okay, and take a look at the last pronunciation word.
The universe.
No, in the chat window. Sorry.
Atmosphere.
That's good. It is sphere. Also, look where the stress is. The mark is on the a.
Atmosphere.
Not atmosphere, but atmosphere.
Atmosphere.
Right. First syllable. Okay, let's finish reading before we talk about this. But Raphael, hold on to that interesting idea, because I think that paragraph tells us something that's not obvious about how this works. Remember, I asked you at the beginning to think about the question. Is this something we could have done long ago? Or is this innovation something possible only now with our current technology? I'm asking you that because it seems so obvious that if you put a mirror, it will reflect light. So why haven't we been doing it until now, right? That's the question that this article raises for me. But I think in Raphael's paragraph here, 8, we get an answer, a possible answer to that. Okay, back to you, Jose. Can you do 9 for us?
Okay. The mirror is built from several layers of very thin materials. The first layer is reflective silver. On top of these are layers of silicon dioxide and hafnium oxide. These layers turn the mirror into a thermal radiator. When silicon dioxide heats up...
Wait. Just say dioxide.
Dioxide.
Good.
Okay. When silicon dioxide heats up, it radiates the heat as infrared light at a wavelength of around 10 micrometers as the heat passes straight out to space. The total thickness of the mirror is around 2 micrometers of 2 thousandths of a millimeter.
That's right, 2,000ths of a millimeter.
2 thousandths of a millimeter.
Okay, so paragraph 9 is also very important to explain how this works. So think about what you just read for a minute, because we're going to come back to it.
Okay.
Okay, and Khalid, why don't you finish it up? Let me just see if that's the last page.
Yes.
Oh, no, it's not. It's not. You got more. Keep going. 10 and 11 for us, Khalid.
The cold darkness of the universe can be used as a renewable.
Good. That's right. Renewable.
Renewable. Thermo thermodynamic resource even during the hottest hours of the day. The scientists write in Nature it tests the mirror had cooling power of 40 watt per square meters at outside temperature.
Just hang on a second. 40 watts per square meter. Per
Yes,
square meter.
40 watts per square meters at outside temperatures.
Okay.
Uh,
And by the way, what does the word nature mean in paragraph 10? Let's make sure that's clear. What do they mean by nature? Why is it in italics? Khalid.
is a kind of magazine here.
Yes, it's exactly right. It's the premier scientific journal for general science. Nature is one, and there's another one too. So it's a really famous scientific journal. Not a magazine, because a magazine is for general population. It's a journal meant for scientists, but it's the most important journal. One of the most important. Okay? Okay, keep going.
Writing in the journal, Pan says that the cost of the mirror is between 20 and 40 and 20
70.
and $70 per square meters. He calculated an annual electricity saving of 100
Megawatts, I guess.
meter by watt.
What is that actually? You know what? I'm not even sure. I think WH is watts, but M is that meters or 100 million watts? 100. You know what? I don't know. I have to look it up. It's not clear to me either.
On a three-story building.
Okay, so let's just make sure the pronunciation is clear. Not per square, but per square.
Right.
So say this, $70 per square meter.
$70 per square meter.
Yeah, square meter.
Square meter.
That's it. Good, good. Also, annual electricity saving. Annual.
Annual electricity saving? Where is
Yeah.
it?
Annual means every year. Annual. Yearly. Every year. So he calculates an annual electricity saving of 100 megawatts. I think that's megawatts on a six-story.
Megawatt.
I think it's megawatts, yeah. In other words, his math tells us that every year this amount of energy will be saved on a normal building, a three-story building, like kind of the average size. So it's not a huge investment, $20 or even more. It's not a huge investment, and the savings look like they're very significant. Okay? I'm going to just read these last two. You follow along and ask me if there's any questions, and then we're going to open this up to discussion. So number 12, just to finish up. Fan said that the mirror could cool buildings, but he said that the mirrors would not slow down global warming. Roof space is only a small portion of the Earth's surface, so the mirror is not a solution to the problem of global warming, but our mirror will help limit greenhouse gas emissions by reducing electricity consumption, he said. I'm really excited by the potential it has, says, looks like Marin. I can't pronounce that name. Marin Sloyajiks, something like that. A scientist at Massachusetts Institute of Technology. You could use this on buildings and spend much less money on air conditioning, or maybe you wouldn't need it at all. You could put it on the top of shopping malls. Okay, so I have some questions here, but I really just want to have a general discussion with you. So we can talk about some of these, but I also want to know what you're thinking. I have a little activity here that you should try on your own on slide 11, and I'll be happy to correct it for you. But maybe we ought to start with the discussion first. Class, would you recommend installing mirrors at your place of work, at your school, at some other public place like a shopping mall or a government building? Based on what you've read, what would you recommend? Class, all of you, what would you recommend?
I will recommend to put the mirrors on the roof because you cut down the consumption of electricity.
And where would you recommend doing that in Valencia?
At home, at the hospitals, principally in the big buildings, I think.
Yeah. So hospitals. What about?
Because the hospitals, have a huge consume of energy, I think.
Huge consumption.
Of energy. Huge consumption of energy.
Okay, good. So you would recommend it at big public buildings?
Yes.
Okay. And what about the rest of you? What about in KSA? Could you see this as a solution in KSA, Khalid?
Teacher is not a final solution, but it will reduce the spending of energy, electricity, and energy because we don't have river, we don't have, we cannot produce electricity here. We use engines, if you know. Because if you have a river, you can produce electricity by putting Fourier of water. I don't know what's the word there. Here, if you have.
Are you talking about hydroelectricity from water?
Yeah. If you have a river, you can produce electricity. It will not be expensive. But here we don't have. Therefore, they use oil to.
Oh, right. Yes.
In addition to, the weather here is very hot, and they have to use the energy of sun, of sunlight, because it is all the year. There is no clouds in the air on the sky. Therefore, they need it. In addition to, they have a lot of people that come from outside, and there is a population. I don't know what's it's in Riyadh. You have a huge number of people here, and everywhere in KSA, the native people here maybe 20 million. The people that come from outside maybe 80 millions.
80 billion.
Maybe I don't know exactly the number, the exact number, but there is a lot number of people that come. This make problems in health, and do you know there is no water? You have to
You have to irrigate.
I don't know what's
irrigate means bring water. You have to irrigate.
Yeah.
Irrigate, like this word in the chat window. Take a look. Irrigate.
I don't know, teacher. Though. Irrigate, maybe. They don't have sweet water. They make a process to get water from the sea and pushing it to the houses or to the building.
You desalinate the water. Oh, I see. Desalinate the water from the sea.
Yes.
Desalinate.
Yes. Therefore, here is very hot all over the year. Therefore, you have to use this energy. And very there, that the situation here. Maybe you have the idea here. If you have a lot of people, it means that a lot of services that you everywhere that they go.
You're in Riyadh? Is that what you said?
Yes, I'm in Riyadh. Yes,
And
capital.
so the population is bigger than the population of New York City?
I
New York,
don't I
New
don't
York,
know about university, but here
Mhm,
teacher, the investment develop attract people to come here. You know.
mhm. Right, of course. I know it's a good place to teach English as well. I know a lot of people
Yes, if you
teaching
come
English
here,
there.
no, you can if you come here, or if you go to Emirat Arabia, you know, is the
Hmm.
better there. Is the best place there. You can get maybe multiply 2 or 3 in your salary there in USA.
Right,
And
right.
even you can look at if you look at Emirates, you will say that conditions that you live is very good. It's not different from your place. Maybe it's better. It's copy of Europe countries without problems at all. Everything on standard. You will be pleased if you go there. And it's now if you look at Abu Dhabi or Dubai, you will say that a lot of American people live there and work there.
In Dubai,
Yes,
my university from New York has a school in Dubai. New York University opened a school in Dubai. New York University in Dubai. Isn't that
yes,
strange? Yes, it's true.
that's the change. And they're following their benefit, they're following money. Therefore, you will find that this is very, very good and very profit. Maybe 1 year in USA, 3 years in USA equal 1 year in Dubai.
And I'm not in the USA, I'm in Portugal, where 1 year in the United States is 3 years in Portugal. So 1 year in Dubai is 6 years in Portugal. Well, you've convinced me. I'm going. It's very hard to get a job in Dubai as a teacher nowadays. There's a lot of competition. Abu Dhabi is a little bit, I think, a little bit easier.
Institute teacher, you can go to institutes, not schools.
Mm, yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
from private lessons, you will get a lot of money.
Right. Okay. But speaking about mirrors and air conditioning, getting back on topic for a second, Raphael, what about you? Remember that paragraph that you were talking about a little bit ago
Yeah,
about the heat sink?
yeah.
That
I
is a
think it's
really significant paragraph. I don't know if that made sense.
yeah. For me, it's the whole point, the important point, because at the beginning of the article, I was thinking, and I was also concerned about what happened with this kind of mirror, because if you are sending the heat to the atmosphere, at the end, finally, it comes down, the energy comes down, and the heat comes down again and again, as it's
Right,
a kind of vicious circle.
right.
And with this concept of the sink,
Heat
heat
sink.
sink, heat
Hmm.
sink is so important, and also as the scientists has discovered, this kind of microwave or different wave could go to the universe
Yeah,
longer, faster than,
or
faster and longer
easier.
the use of the atmosphere.
Easier because
Easier.
it doesn't get trapped. It doesn't get reflected back by the
Back.
clouds.
Yeah.
Right. Which
Um,
is so my original question. We have to stop in just a moment, but my original question was this seems like a common sense solution. Put up a mirror.
wow.
But is this something that we would have been able to do 50 years ago or 100 years ago? Or is this something that our technology only allows us to do now? I know my answer. What do you think the answer is? Is this something we could have been doing all along, Raphael?
As far as I read in the article, only we can do it right now because the mirror have a special uh, components with
Right.
silver and with other structures components that I think,
These layers, right?
yeah,
Layers, yes.
And for this reason, I think only right now we can do it.
And the physics, even 50 years ago, physics has been pretty good for 100 years, since Einstein, even before, actually. But Einstein, remember, we didn't know that atoms existed for sure until Einstein, right? He's the guy who proved that there were really atoms. Physics, 50 years ago, might not have been good enough to really understand the dynamics of this, because it would have been obvious. We would have been holding up the wrong kind of mirrors and making the problem worse. So it seems like it's a pretty good idea that could only happen now. I agree with you, Raphael. This idea of a heat sink and the materials you need to beam it back out into space is very, very interesting. So it is something that's quite technological. Seems easy, but in fact it's quite advanced. Okay, well, I want you to go out and petition your local government to put up mirrors, okay?
Yeah.
All right, do that.
Inform them.
I'm going to be back in just a minute for our second class, which is our business basics class, where we look at a business issue and you learn the basic expressions and phrases you need to deal with that issue. In this class coming up, we're going to be talking about and deciding as a group what we think about regulation, using the concept of Uber taxi apps as an example. They're banned in some countries. They're allowed in other countries. We read the article. Now we're going to have a big debate in the next class. So stick around for that, okay? And that's it. Be back in a minute, everyone. Great discussion. See you soon. Bye for now. Bye-bye.